Hey there, this is Pam Lawhorn, and thank you so much for joining me. We are here with today's Midday Millionaire Mastermind series, and I have the pleasure of interviewing my friend, and you guys are going to love today's mastermind because we are interviewing Sue Austin. And Sue has a wonderful story. Not only has she lost weight using skinny fiber, but she's also been able to build a really phenomenal business, going from working part-time to making over $300,000 per year in less than 3 years. So I just adore Sue. Sue was one of the first people that I met, or one of the first people that I met when I came into Skinny Body Care. She's not directly on my team, but when I say she's just been like super helpful, she's been like beyond helpful, and we've become good friends. And so I'm glad that I've got a chance to speak with her. You guys are going to love hearing her story. And Sue, thank you for agreeing to do this. I know it was last minute, so thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you asking me.
Well, of course. And Tim Miller, of course, suggested, and I said, of course, Sue, which you were on my short list anyway. And what I want to do is I've put together like a series of questions that I just want to go over, because one of the things I always hear from people is, how do people get in a position where they're doing six figures? How do they build these really big teams in the network marketing arena? And I always tell them that it's really being consistent. It's about doing the same thing over and over again. And so I think with these Midday Millionaire Mastermind series, they get a chance to see people like yourself. Of course, we've had Tim Miller, and then we had Courtney last week. They get a chance to see your brilliant minds in action, and they get a chance to be mentored and coached by you from afar, and see exactly what you've been able to do in order to build your business. So I'm just going to kind of start off by asking you a few questions. And the first thing I want to know is a little bit about your family. Just kind of tell me, just briefly, a little bit about your family, if you have any kids or anything.
Okay, well, I have 3 kids. My oldest daughter's 24, and she actually has a 2-year-old, so I'm a grandmother, too. And then I have a 14-year-old son and a 13-year-old daughter, so it's never a dull moment in my household.
You don't look old enough to be a grandma.
Well, thank you. I am. Some days I feel it, but she keeps me young, so.
I wouldn't have known that. How old's your grandbaby?
She's 2.
Oh, wow. My son is 27. My oldest is 27, and they haven't had kids yet. And I'm like, sort of looking forward to having grandkids and sort of not.
It's a lot of fun. I get to spoil her all day and then send her home to mom.
Okay. That's the part I'm looking forward to. And so, Grandma, I wouldn't have thought that at all. You kind of stumped me with that one. Okay.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been in the industry, Sue? How long have you been in? Is this your first run in network marketing, or how long have you been in this industry at all?
Well, I've never done network marketing. Never really knew much about it. I didn't understand it. I was probably one of those people that used to think it was a scam or there was some kind of catch to it. So when Skinny Body Care came along, it was totally new to me. I had to learn everything about the industry, first of all. But I love it now.
Okay, so here's the thing, and this is the reason why I ask this question, guys, is because people always say that, oh, well, you have to be in the industry like 7 to 10 years before you can be successful, and the only people who are making money have failed, a million times before. So we had Courtney Luper on last week, who said she'd been in for, I think, 16 months, and she was making a 6-figure income. And now here we have Sue telling you that she's never been in the industry before, another success story, making 6 figures a year. So I just wanted to point that out. For those of you guys who are looking at Skinny Body Care, or you're thinking about joining this business, or you're already in this business and you're saying, okay, it's possible for someone else, listen, it's possible for you too. So get started. Let us show you exactly what we're doing, and you could be making 6 figures a year too. It's very much possible. she's telling you she did it, never had any industry experience. It's not always that you have to have 10, 15 years of experience. That's a myth, and it's just been debunked again. So, so only been doing this now for, you said, a little over 3 years. So what did you do before you got into this industry? I know you mentioned that you were working part-time. What were you doing?
Well, actually, I was working full-time when I first started Skinny Body Care, but I've done many things in my life.
Okay.
I was a waitress for years, and then I was a hairdresser also for years. So I've always been a people person. I've always been around people. I like to help people, and I've always strived to do my best in whatever I was doing. My parents always raised me that way. So I was like the head waitress. I was the manager of the hair salon. I always wanted to be the best. And then I got tired of that because I had kids and I was always gone on the weekends, and my husband wasn't a lot of help at home with the kids, so I'd come home just thankful they were alive and fed. Sometimes they'd feed themselves. The house would be a mess. So I decided I wanted to go to school. So I went to school to be a medical coder, and I had no money, so of course I had to get student loans for that. And I went for a year and a half and got my degree, and then found out that you can't get a job as a coder without any experience, even though I had the degree and the student loans. So I got a job in a medical office, which, going to school helped me get that job. But I sat there in a cubicle all day. And, after a while I realized, what was I thinking? This is really not making me happy. I'm gone all the time. My day was like 16 hours long by the time I'd get the kids up and get them to where they needed to go, and then get to work, and then, get home and get the kids again. And I was not happy. And that's when Skinny Body Care came along, when I was working that job.
Wow. And so you were basically, when you started, you were already putting in a 40-hour work week then, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
40 or more.
Okay. And even though you were putting in a 40-hour work week, you were still able to start building your business, correct?
Yes. When I first started, I actually just started it for the product. I wanted to lose some weight. So I started taking it, and I did. I lost like 12 pounds the first month, and I felt really good, and I really liked the product. It, got rid of my late night junk cravings. And so at that point, after about a month, I started looking at the business side of it. And I did a lot of research on my own, just learning about the industry itself and following, some people. I started doing a lot of personal development, listening to Jim Rohn and Les Brown, and, all different motivational speakers, and I really started following the leaders in Skinny Body Care to see what they were doing. I didn't bug them. I never, got on their back or, bothered them, but I watched them, and I got on every company training call, every webinar, everything I could get my hands on. I was a sponge, and I still am. I still do that. I mean, I stalk people all the time just to watch them and learn from them. I learn something new every day.
Well, one thing's for sure is that it's like real obvious, because I stalk you, and I've just been amazed at how you run your business and seeing how your team has been growing and how just how you operate. And I was like, how many times does she post a day? And just watching your group expand. So I can definitely see how your business has grown. And so it was the hours pretty much, because, I've seen some people when they get into network marketing, they do it for different reasons. I know for me, my fiance was dealing with some health issues, and at the time I was doing some coaching work, and I needed more time. I needed time leverage, and so it was very important that I was able to get into something that was going to allow me to make more money and spend less of my time doing it. So that was my reason why. So for you, was it more about the money, or was it more about getting your time back and being able to be home with your kids?
It was both. It was both. I made a decent income at my job, but I had a ton of credit card debt that I had gotten myself into. I had the student loans. I was making barely enough just to pay my bills every month, and I hated it. I hated that I hardly saw my kids, and I was working so much and never being able to get ahead. Ultimately it was time freedom, but I knew that I would have to put in the work in order to get to that point.
Yeah, and when you say put in the work initially, how much was you putting in? Because that question comes up a lot from people. I hear people say, I work full time, so I don't really have the time. So what were you doing in the beginning?
Well, I worked full time for almost the first 16 to 18 months that I was in skinny body care. And I got up early every morning. I got up an hour earlier to get online and, do work my business, talk to people, get my posts out there. On my lunch break, even though we weren't allowed to be on Facebook on the computer at work, I would sometimes sneak, or I would be on my phone. Or I worked across the street from the mall, so I'd walk over to the mall on my lunch break and hand out brochures, talk to people at the mall. I mean, I had magnets on my car. Everywhere I go, my business is being advertised. I'd come home from work, feed the kids and get back online, and I'd get maybe 4 to 5 hours of sleep at night while I was working. But to me, it was worth it. I knew I had to put that time in, and I liked what I was doing. It wasn't like it was a burden to me. I was learning so much and helping people.
And let me jump in here. I think you just made a key point. One, you enjoyed what you did, and two, you knew it was what you had to do. So I'm going to ask you a key question because I know how much money you make now, but how long did it take you to get to a point where you were able to replace your income? I realized that maybe you didn't quit your job for 16 to 18 months, but how long did it actually take where you were at a point where you were like, okay, you know what, I'm making a pretty good amount of money. And it became realistic to you that I'm going to be able to leave my job.
I became a silver probably within the first 4 months, maybe 3 to 4 months, and I started having a check every week. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough to let me know that this is going to work. There's other people doing this. There's other people that are able to quit their jobs, and this is their full-time income. So I know that it's going to take time, but I know that I can do it. And when I did quit my job, I wasn't, getting rich yet. I was making enough to cover the bills I had to cover and be able to stay home with my granddaughter, who was then born. When I quit my job, she was born. That's one of the reasons why I quit when I did, because I wanted to be able to stay home with her and not my daughter, not have to send her to daycare. So at that point, I was making enough to get by, but I had more time now to put in my business.
Right. And once you started doing that, that's when your business really took off.
Yes, it really did.
Okay. And it really did. So normally the question I ask everyone is, how many companies have you been with prior to Skinny Body Care? And that's none. But my next question I want to ask you is, have you ever thought about quitting?
No.
No.
I've had a lot of struggles. I've had a lot of obstacles. I've had lots of people join and quit. And in the beginning, I used to take it personally. I thought, what did I do wrong? But the more I worked on myself and did a lot of personal development and really learned about people, the more I realized it was not me, it was them. And I just had to keep going, keep moving forward and talking to more people. And that's just the nature of this industry. I mean, it's not for everybody.
Yeah. And it's really funny that you said that too, Sue. I was speaking with someone. I was speaking with Tim Miller, actually, and we were talking about numbers, and I remember him running numbers by me about how many people he had signed up and how many people were still in based on those original numbers, and it was just staggering. It was such a low percentage of people when you consider that he's $1 million earner. So statistically, when you look at things, you say, well, no, everyone's not going to do it, but everyone doesn't have to do it. Everyone doesn't have to stick around. It's really for those who can see the vision, know that they're going to help people, know that they're here to change lives, and know how this product and this program will do that for them, not just physically, but financially. So I agree with you 100%. And I think when I first got in the industry, I took it a little personal when people walked away from it, but I realized they weren't walking away from me. They were really walking away from their own future, and they were walking away from the opportunity to be able to help themselves and help their families have financial freedom. And that's how I look at it now. When they say, well, I'm deciding not to do it, and I say, that's their freedom they're walking away from. And I'm really okay with it. And they're saving me time is another way that I look at it. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree, totally.
Yeah. So actually, we should start thanking people when they like like, thank you for not wasting our time.
Exactly.
I guess that's kind of mean, so we won't do that. Well, I'd like to know who introduced you to Skinny Body Care.
Well, I was fairly new to Facebook at the time. This was in April of 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And I had reconnected with a bunch of old high school friends on there and, just trying to figure it all out. And one of my old high school friends kept posting this link on her wall. And I looked at it probably 7 or 8 times. I never asked her any questions. I never talked to her. I just, late at night I'd see it and look at it. And one night, probably after the 7th or 8th time I looked at it, I thought, I'm just going to order it. I need to lose some weight. It's all natural. So I did. And I never even told her. I just ordered it and waited for it to come. And really at that point, I didn't even realize I had signed up as a distributor. I mean, it was her distributor link, but I didn't read it. I just wanted the product. So, I mean, that's pretty much how I discovered it.
Wow. Now, this is a question I love asking people, is what makes Skinny Body Care, the business, and even the product, if you want to share that, what makes it different? Because I know for me, one of the things that I've lost approximately 27, 28 pounds on skinny fiber. As a matter of fact, not that this matters to anyone, but it matters to me. I'm sitting in a pair of shorts that I haven't seen in probably about 3 years that are a size 10. That's just been sitting in the bottom of my closet, in the bottom of my drawer. They probably need to be washed, but who cares? I just like tried them on this morning just to entertain myself and show them to my fiance. He hadn't even seen them yet because he just came in the house. But to entertain myself, I just tried them on to see if they would fit. And when I pulled them up and buttoned them on, I was like, oh, they fit. So, I'm down like 28 pounds or so, maybe a little bit more in the last 3 months. And for me, it's been the product working. It's been the family, the friendships, everything that's been created through this business that I've been looking for. So I know for me, that's what makes it different, because realistically, you can go make money anywhere, but all money is not good money. So what's been your experience? I'm 3 months in, you're 3 years in, so we have 2 totally different perspectives. So I want to hear yours.
Well, for me, I may spend a lot of time on Facebook, but I love what I do. I get messages every single day from customers, telling me how their life has changed, their health has changed. Just they've left bad relationships because of the inspiration and how much better they're feeling about themselves, and just things like that I get every single day. So I wake up and I can't wait to get on Facebook to see who I can talk to and who I can help. And the company itself, I totally agree with you. I mean, my sponsor, the girl who I joined with, she quit soon after, went on to do something else. And I had all the support of everyone in the official Skinny Dream Team group, all the leaders. I mean, they're all like, everyone's like family to me, even though we're not even on the same team. I've had so much help from so many people, and I really, I'm here to help anyone. I don't care whose team they're on. We're all in this together, and we're like a big family, and that's one thing I just love about this company.
Yeah, and that part I can certainly vouch for, because Sue, that's how you and I met. And ever since then, I mean, when I say that you guys have helped me so much, because I come from a different, the way that I've built my business in the past and the way that I've marketed in the past is so totally different, because I've never marketed or promoted a product that was a physical product. And so I'm having to learn. It's like learning how to walk again almost. And so, of course, I'm using the product. I'm a product of the product. People say, oh, my God, your face is slimmed down. And I'm able, like my shoulders, my collarbone is showing, and just little small things. So I'm getting back to being at my normal weight, which is more comfortable for me. But it's a little different to promote a product, even though you're using it, because I'm so used to being a digital marketer, if that makes any sense. And you guys have just been so helpful without asking any questions, answer questions, and just beyond. And so, and that entire family environment is 1,000%. So again, anyone who's looking at this, if you're watching this, if someone put you on this, and you're wondering how do you get to a point where you're making $300,000 a year, this is how, because you get the support of a team, you get the support of people who actually care about other people, and they don't care whether or not they make money off of you. One thing I can tell you is I've been in companies where the main concern was whether or not they're going to get paid next month off of your efforts. That's a real disheartening thing when all people care about is whether or not they're going to get a check off of you. But when you're in an environment where the real concern is whether or not someone can help you, whether or not someone can answer a question for you, it's a big deal. And I love when I came in that the team was called the Dream Team, one team, one dream. That meant a lot, and that people actually followed through with that, and that people were so willing to do for other people and help other people and help them succeed in a way that they didn't feel as if it was going to hurt them by doing so, that everyone was so open, caring, and willing to share. And you can see that in everyone's success, what the team does for everyone. This is the place to be. So that's why you see six-figure earners. That's why you see five-figure-a-month earners. And that's why you're going to see so many millionaires pop from out of this company. That's why we call it the Midday Millionaire Mastermind series, so that you can see how someone went from working a job to being able to walk away from their job in this industry, which is unheard of, especially for someone who doesn't have experience. And this is really just mind-boggling to me, because people say that this doesn't happen, and for the second time we've had someone say it did happen to them. So I want to know this, Sue. How has Skinny Body Care changed your life? I know we have an event coming up in Vegas within the next couple of days, and so I know I'm excited. This is my first event that I'll be going to. So, but how has this company changed your life? Aside, well, the income, of course, share that part, but how has all of this changed your life?
First of all, it's made me such a better person. Like, I've learned so much more about myself and about people, and just I've made the best friends. Some of them not even on my team, just in this company. It's my family. It's also helped me to pay off all my debt, all that credit card debt, student loans. That was the very first thing I did, was pay all that off. And the next thing I did was take my family to Hawaii, because traveling has always been my dream since I was a kid. I don't want a big house. I don't want a big car. I don't care about name brand clothes, shoes, purses. I'm not materialistic like that much at all. But I want to see the world, and I want to be able to go when I want to go and not have to ask a boss if I can get the time off, and worry about if I'm going to have a check when I get back. And Skinny Body Care has really done that for me. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to the Bahamas. I can't wait for Vegas. I'm really excited to see everybody. And then I'm going on the cruise this year, and it's all paid for. I don't have that burden of debt anymore. So that's really the big thing. And then knowing that I'm helping other people is just so rewarding. I want to help as many people as I can have the feelings that I feel.
Yeah. And I think, and what you're mentioning, that freedom is, it's a different type of feeling. And I know that in your team, because you have a huge team, and I know that within your team you have a lot of stars, a lot of superstars within your team, and they're experiencing that same type of freedom. Can you explain what that feels like to you? Because aside from you being able to have that type of lifestyle, you've been able to, in a small way, however you feel about that, been able to help other people create that lifestyle for themselves. How does that make you feel? Because I know for me, it makes me feel just like a proud mama when someone tells me they're able to do something and I played a small part in it. How does that make you feel?
I feel the same way. I feel like, I'm a proud mama. It just makes me feel so good to know. I mean, everyone needs to be able to feel this, and everyone can. It's just, it's in your mind. You have to have the right mindset and believe that you are worth it and you deserve it. And we're all here. I mean, everything you need to be successful is here. I mean, and new stuff. I learn new stuff every single day. People like you, you're fairly new to the company, but you're so willing to share everything with everyone, and I have learned so much from you and several others just by stalking you and watching you. And but it makes me feel so great to be able to help my team members have that feeling too. It's just hard to even describe it.
Yeah, and thank you. I appreciate that. And I mean, I love being part of this team. I love being part of this family, and it's easy to want to come in and give because everyone else gives so open-heartedly and and willingly. So it's very easy for me to want to do the same and give back as well. And here's a question that I love asking is how did you build your team? Because people always say, I can't recruit, I can't do this. So I'm always curious as to how were you able to build your team? How were you able to get to this point where you're earning over $300,000 a year? Because that's not bad, little lady. You're doing that from home.
I love being able to stay at home. Well, when I first started, to me, paying that extra $10 to be a distributor was like a no-brainer. You know, why wouldn't you do that? Why would you just buy the product? You might as well pay the $10. So I promoted mostly the business in the beginning. And I had a little success, but I had a lot of people join and quit. You know, they were expecting to get rich overnight and whatever. When I started following Jackie Stewart and what she was doing as far as the weight loss support groups and, you know, promoting the product, that's when my business turned around. I started promoting the product and just sincerely wanting to help people get healthier and not selling the product, but just sharing other people's stories, sharing my story with the product, sharing. I mean, we have thousands of testimonies now, and everybody's willing to share with each other and with, you know, and that's pretty much what made my business take off. Most of my best distributors started off as customers. And, you know, when you share those stories and other people get motivated by them and they try the product and they start having success with the product, everyone's asking them, what are you doing? How did you lose the weight? And they come to me, oh my gosh, how can I sell this? You know, I need to start selling this too because everyone's asking me. So I'm not even pushing the business anymore. I mean, I'll mention it to people when they're having a lot of success, but people are mainly coming to me and asking me how they can sell this, how they can be a distributor.
Wow. Now, see, you just taught me something. I mean, you literally, I'm listening, sitting here going, have to rethink my strategy. Wow. So you pretty much built your entire business by being a product of the product, sharing your results, sharing the results of others, and then from there, bringing on more team members from people who are also getting results. So basically, everyone's getting results. They love the products like you did, and then they are ending up becoming some of your best distributors. So pretty much duplication.
Yes, exactly. But I'm learning, and like I said, I'm still learning. I'm watching you and some of this attraction marketing, and I'm trying to tweak my style a little bit because I'm a work in progress. I'm always learning and growing, and there's just so much you can learn every day from others who are having success in this industry.
I see we're going to be having a late night strategy session in Vegas. Figure out how to merge these two.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow. Yeah, but you know what? The really good thing about that, though, is that you practice what you preach. And that's really good because people always say, well, that person makes their money or they're able to have success, but they're not doing what they say they do. But you're teaching your team to do exactly what you did. And that's what I love. You actually lost weight. You were a customer first. You lost weight, you love the product, you start promoting the product, and to this very day, that's exactly what you do.
Yeah.
So I love that. And see, when I came into Skinny Body Care, I got on the product, but I started promoting the product the same way, and I took people on the journey with me. I said, hey, listen, I'm going to do this 90-day challenge, and I'm literally right at my 90 days, and I said my goal was to lose, I believe, 25 or 30 pounds within my first 90 days, and, you know, I came very close. So that's pretty much what my angle was, is that, hey, over the next 90 days, you can watch me or you can join me. And that was my whole plan. Watch me or join me, one of the two, but it's going to happen whether you're participating or not. But I love the way that you've done it and love the way that you explained it because anyone can do that. And I always say you either know someone who needs to lose weight, make money, or both. This is an evergreen industry, folks. If you know someone who needs to lose weight, make money, or both, then they can benefit from this product and this program because the products work. I'm living proof. Sue is living proof. The products work for us and for thousands of people. So if you're thinking about getting started in this business, she just showed you exactly how she's built an income of over $300,000 per year. I know CEOs who don't make over $300,000 per year. I know people who own their own business who are struggling to make $100,000 per year, not $300,000 per year. And Sue, where do you work again?
I work from home.
Oh, okay. We were just talking earlier about how we got prettied up for the camera, but that normally wearing sweats, T-shirts, and messy hair and no makeup.
Oh, yeah.
This is our cute day, but normally you guys wouldn't see this. And Sue,
but also, I take my business everywhere I go. You know, when I leave the house, my business is with me. Don't go anywhere without leaving some contact information or something somewhere, talking to somebody. I mean, I make it a part of my life. Let's talk about that real quick, since you just brought that up, because that's something, offline marketing is something that I don't do, but since you brought it up and we're talking about building your team, what all do you do? Because I think that would be very helpful for people. So spill it. What all do you do? Well, first of all, my car, you can't look at my car without knowing what I do. My car is a driving advertisement for me, and it always has been. And I get phone calls, and I have people stop me at a red light. I mean, asking me what that is. I had a guy the other day taking a picture of my magnet on the car. But it works. And if I go into a store, I've always got flyers or business cards or my drop cards or something that I'm either leaving there, or I'll talk to someone in line. I'll be standing in line, you know, and just start up a conversation, general conversation, and we get to the subject of weight loss or, you know, making more money, and I always give my information out. You can't be a secret agent. You have to let people know what you do, because if you don't tell them, someone else is going to eventually. And I think it's being selfish not sharing this opportunity and this product with people, because it's helping so many people, and you never know whose life you can change.
Didn't I also see you do events too, also, don't you?
Well, I used to do a few vendor events. I've recently started doing that again. I did one last month, and I'm doing one this month, just to get the word out more locally. Most people in my town have never heard of this, never heard of Skinny Fiber, never heard of Skinny Body Care. Unless they've met me, they've pretty much not heard of it. So the local market is wide open. I follow a lot of Dale Calvert's trainings that he does for us as a company, and I mean, he's right on. That stuff works. It really does.
Wow. So, in other words, what you're saying is be consistent.
Yes.
And keep it simple.
Exactly.
And
it's not hard. I mean, talk about what you're doing and what you love to do, and the excitement gets other people excited.
And doing that has made you're basically what, few months, maybe 6 months or so away from doing $500,000 a year, roughly. Yeah.
It's still hard for me to believe it. I mean, I still feel like I'm in a dream sometimes, but I wake up every day happy with what I'm doing, and I'm happy with, you know, the opportunity to be able to help other people do it.
You want me to pinch you in Vegas, girl?
Yeah. First, I want a big hug.
Okay. Then I'll pinch you. No, you know, it's so well deserved. I mean, we've talked, and I've heard your story, and when you talk about well deserved, it is well deserved. You've really worked your butt off. Your team loves you, and I can see why. I love you too. And I mean, when I say that you go above and beyond, I can't wait when you hit that $500,000 a year. We're flying somewhere and celebrating.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Bora Bora.
Oh, Bora Bora. That's like been one of my dream spots.
Me too.
Yeah, and you definitely deserve it. So I want to know, what tip would you give someone who's thinking about getting started, thinking about starting a business? What's your best business tip for someone who's maybe new to the industry? What would you tell them to do?
Get plugged into your company's training. I mean, Skinny Body Care, we have everything you need is there in the official Skinny Dream Team. We have a boot camp training. We have a team training site. And then reach out to people if you have questions. Inbox them. Don't, bug people, but find out what you want to know. Start following people that are where you want to be. Those that are doing, things that you want to do, start following them and stalking them and just watching them and learn from them, and then start applying what you're learning and teach it to your team.
Yeah. The duplication process is simple. It's really about showing people how to do exactly what you're doing. In this business, keeping things to yourself doesn't help you. keeping all of your goodies to yourself is not going to help you. It's not going to help your team. And anything that you can do to help someone else, it only comes back to you. I believe a lot in attraction marketing. I believe that what you put out there, you get back tenfold. And in this business, the way that you will grow and make money and help people is by helping as many people and change as many lives as you can. So this has been great, great, great. Of course, we talk all the time. We chat all the time. And so being able to chat with you here and share your story is my privilege. So thank you very much. I'm excited to finally get a chance to meet you in Vegas in the next 48 hours.
I know.
48 hours? This is crazy. And I still got to go find something to wear.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you so much for asking me to be on. I really appreciate that. Like I said, I learned from you a lot, and a lot of the others that are fairly new in this company. But we've got some great people in this company.
Well, the great part is I think that with these Midday Mastermind, it gives them a chance to go inside and kind of hear from yourself, hear from people like you, Courtney, Tim, what you're doing. Because I think sometimes they can hear it from afar, but hearing it coming from out of your own mouth and saying, listen, I'm just like you. I'm an everyday person doing normal everyday things. And it's just about being consistent. I like to say that we're special in the sense that we're just willing to do what other people are not willing to do. And that's what makes us special. But we're not extraordinary. We're just willing to do what other people are not willing to do. And that's what makes the difference between someone who's earning $300,000 a year and someone who's earning $3,000 a year. And that is the God's honest truth in my heart. That's what I believe. But you, my dear, are a superstar. I can't wait to meet you and hug you to death. And thank you again so much for being here. And guys, this is going to be our last Midday Mastermind until we'll be back on the 14th. We'll be back on the 14th. So we'll be in Vegas. For those of you guys who are joining us in Vegas, we'll see you guys in Vegas. For those of you guys who are not and you're not part of our team yet, click on the link below. Become part of our family. Join us at our next event that we'll be having, which we don't know where it's at or when it's going to be, but wherever it's at, we want you to join us there. And again, Sue, thank you so much. I love you, girly, and I'll see you in a few days. And thank you all of you guys for supporting what we're doing with these hangouts, with these trainings. We hope that you enjoy all of them, and it's just been my pleasure to be part of this team and part of this family. And we'll see you guys that's going to be there in Vegas with us. We'll see you in a few days. Take care and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Bye.
Vegas. Bye.